Hey everyone, Effie here. Today we are going to make a fabulous card using our Happiest of Peony set, and we're going to do some watercoloring today. So we're going to first rose gold emboss this cluster peony onto some watercolor paper. So I started off by prepping my watercolor paper with some anti-static powder tool, and then I stamped the cluster with some Versamark ink, and then I spooned on the rose gold embossing powder. And then after I tap off the excess, I'm just going to hit the whole thing with my heat tool and melt all of that powder. Now I'm just going to start watercoloring with some of my new color bursts, and I'm using the peony powders for my peonies today. The way that I'm watercoloring today is similar to how I watercolor when I use my zig markers. When I use my zig markers, I use the marker and I put down a little bit of color, and then I take my clean water brush and I spread that color towards the end of the petals. And that is how I'm going to watercolor today. So instead of using a zig marker, I'm just using another water brush with a fine tip. And I'm going to dip that fine tip into my watercolor powder. And I'm going to put a little bit of that color towards the inner portion of my peony petals. And then I'm going to take a separate second water brush and I'm going to pull that color out, and I'm going to lighten that color as I get closer to the edge of the petal. I'm going to use the same technique on the leaves as I did the petals. It's just I'm going to be using different colors. So for the actual petals, I use the Peony watercolor burst. For the leaves, I'm going to be using the new sap green and Prussian blue to add the shading. everything is watercolored, I'm going to die cut my Happiest of Peonies cluster with the coordinating die that was just released about a week and a half or so ago. So after I've taped the die face down onto my cluster, I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine, and you have this really beautiful die cut piece that you can use to embellish your projects. I needed a backdrop for these peonies and I wanted to do them justice because they just came out so pretty. So I thought, let me use my 6x6 Haute Stripes cling stamp because what is more chic than stripes? Nothing, I think, in my opinion. So I stamped our 6x6 Haute Stripes onto a horizontal A2 size card, which is just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I thought, what else goes with stripes? Glitter, gold glitter, because you guys know I love gold and I love glitter. So I created my own glitter cardstock using our glossy fine gold adhesive paper, and I just took the adhesive paper, stuck it on a piece of card panel, and I'm just trimming off the excess here because I'm going to create a frame using the second largest die from our double stitch rectangles large set and the third largest die from our double stitch rectangles small set. The small set comes with dies that are the in-between sizes to the large set. So if you have two, they're very complementary to each other. So I just created a really pretty gold glitter frame using my double stitch rectangle set. And after I've created my frame, I'm going to adhere that stripe panel onto a top folding A2 size horizontal card base. And then I'm just going to adhere my glitter frame onto the stripe panel with some dimensional foam tape because I want there to be a little bit of depth to the card. For my foam tape, I'm just using that giant roll of the 3M foam tape, and I just used a 1/2 inch, I cut it in half, and I put them on all edges of my frame, and then I stuck that right onto my stripe panel. Then I'm going to take my peony cluster and just pop that up right onto my card base as well, and the portions of the peony cluster that fall onto the glitter frame, I just use some glue dots to adhere those portions. For my sentiment, I'm using the Cheers to You sentiment from our Born Classy set. So I took the stamp and I'm just going to rose gold emboss it on some black cardstock. And this is just going to match the rose gold peonies that we embossed earlier. After I applied my heat tool to my sentiment, I'm just going to cut it down to a tiny rectangle, and this is going to get popped up right over my glitter frame. The card came along pretty quickly after the watercoloring was done. It was a little bit labor intensive because of the watercoloring, but coloring is therapeutic, and I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I did not include the entire video of me coloring the entire peony cluster because it would have been a half-hour video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. I really enjoyed making it. I'm thinking about making several variations of this card because it just came out fabulous. If you agree, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!